All right. What's up, everyone? What's happening, people? I am here in the basement, but I wanted to go ahead and do this chat session that I promised you guys. I didn't do it yesterday because of one, was outside playing ball for almost about 2 hours, and two, I wanted to give everyone an extra day to actually see the movie and give people more time to um, go check it out. So here we are now. Just wait for some of you guys to pop up. I don't even know what all these other filters are that they have on here real right now. What in the world is all of this stuff? No freaking idea. I don't even know what half this stuff even is down here. Get up real quick. Excuse me. Mm, okay, ain't nothing down here. All right, let's see how much battery I have left. All right, I'm at 37% right now. So, let's see. The best way to movie up in a nutshell is that the first half or the first act, I can't even say the first act or the first half. The first 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of it is the stuff that you see in the trailers, with the exception of when Black Widow finds Hawkeye. That doesn't happen until pretty much like the later parts of the movie. But everything else that you see in the trailers is really only within like the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. And then after that, pretty much is like one of those things of where you don't know what direction that they're going to actually take the movie um, after that transpires. And that's the that was like one of the biggest things for me is that not knowing what they were going to do with the movie from that point on. Once Thanos got killed, it was like shit. All right, now what? Like they've already killed them. They are trying to get back the stones. How can they go about doing it now? How is this all going to work out? How does the whole fight with Thanos happen again? That sort of thing. Um, I had a feeling that it will be time travel related. However, I didn't know to what extent. Thank you, Crystal. You too. I didn't know to what extent they were going to go as far as to jumping into the different Marvel movies and how it was all kind of intertwined at one point. The other thing about the movie that I'm not sure about is what exactly happened to Loki after he escaped the from the apprehension, or when he got arrested, basically, and when he took the Tesseract cube and disappeared. So that was the other thing about the movie that was still kind of like confusing a little bit, not knowing what happened to him. I'm at 26%. Yeah, this shit is already about to be dead. And then once again, now that I think about it, and after the live stream I did on Saturday, and I forgot about what's up, Oz? What's going on, man? Room for a future clash? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, I think the only thing with Phase Three now is if they do if they do another major villain. The only villain I can really think of, honestly, is Galactus. That's really the only villain I can think of right now. Like that can cause like a problem for the Avengers. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Phase Three though, with the next phase of movies that's coming out, and who they would have as like the main focal point. Since I know that they are going along with the comics of Captain America passing the reins down to um, forgot his name, brain fart. But you guys know who I'm talking about. I know they kind of did that in the comics as well. So that's the only thing about it is that I'm not too sure how they're going to do Phase Three with the next phase of movies with the new Spider-Man movie coming out. I know they're supposed to have like a couple more Black Panther movies, and those are the only really movies that I know that they're supposed to be making. Um, I don't know how soon, but I know it's supposed to be happening. Um, the way that they did Hulk in this, some people are okay with it. Some people are not okay with it. People are going to be people that have seen it didn't like the way they did Thor to make him like a fat alcoholic, basically. When he's in a suit, he looks normal, but out the suit, he is rough. He is rough. He is rough looking, very rough looking. Um, what other thing that I'm sure people are not too fond of that they did with the movie? I don't think it's really to me. I didn't have any personal issues with it. I love the way that the pacing of the movie was. I love the story telling of the movie. The way they set everything up with the final confrontation with Thanos and how Thanos, or the past part of Thanos, being able to find out what was going on, how he was able to um, throw a wrench in their plans for his own benefit. It was smart. It was smart the way they did it, and I like the way they did that. The final throwdown with everyone was fucking crazy. Um, Captain America being able to pick up Thor's hammer blew my mind. Like I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned when that happened. And just everything as a whole with the movie. Like I said on Saturday, like the movie is worth every bit of time that you actually use to see that, whether if you see it in the theaters or if you see it, bootleg or whatever, whichever way that you actually watch the movie is worth every second of time that you put into it. And if for anyone that has been watching all the Marvel movies from the first Iron Man movie to um, Ant Man and the Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy, um, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, of course, all those movies are the way that comic book movies should be done for something like this to be paid off. And it's taking its time to set everything up in a way that it is a very satisfying end to the saga of um of the Avengers. So I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. So did they have an after credit scene? No, it's no after credit scene in the movie at all. No after credit scene. The only thing that you hear is you'll hear like banging on iron, like when Iron Man was actually making his first suit. That's the only thing that you hear at the end of the credits. But after that, it is absolutely no post credit scenes at all, no mid credit scenes at all. It is nothing, absolutely nothing. So to me, the way I kind of looked at it, it was like them closing closing out the complete chapter of the Avengers, of having that sound of Tony Stark banging on the Iron Man suit or building the Iron Man suit, knowing that his movie was the first one to kick off this 11-year saga of Marvel movies. And so I think it was the best way to do it without doing anything else. It wouldn't be any point of doing an after credit scene, knowing that they have built up for this for so long, and to have it finally closed out um, in the end. I think that if this was like the very last Marvel movie that they were ever going to make, I would be satisfied with that, with the way that they did this and the way that they closed out this movie together. And that's my personal opinion. I'm trying to think if it was any major plot holes in the movie that kind of raised an eyebrow, but from what I can remember and from what I definitely can tell, yeah, especially with the Stanley passing as well. Totally agree. I think the other thing about I don't think there's anything about the story that maybe think maybe they left something out purposely, or maybe they just left out something for open to the imagination. Besides the fact of, like I said, me, if I'm sitting here thinking again, me not figuring out what they did with Loki when he escaped with the Tesseract cube. Thing with Black Widow, Hulk explained that even when he tried to bring her back, he wasn't able to bring her back. And then also, trying to think if there's anybody else. I think that's the only person that he wasn't able to bring back, even if he tried to bring her back. He just wasn't able to. So she's definitely dead for sure. Um, she's definitely dead for sure. Iron Man's definitely dead for sure. That they aren't dead completely, which I don't see how that is the case. Is no way imaginable for them to be alive after the way everything kind of unfolded. Um, Let me see how much battery I have left. Try to put this on the charger real quick. But other than that, though, man, I mean, it was just everything. Everything about this movie was just great. It didn't even feel like I was in the theater for 3 hours and some change. And that's how you know a movie has you invested to the point to where you don't even tell that you can't even tell that you've been sitting there for that long. And it's a good way to do it. I'm trying to think if it's anything else. It's not really anything else about this movie where you can kind of pinpoint like any type of low moments and stuff like that, because everything was just so well paced and so well done. I think if anything, now that I think about it, I think the only gripe that I do have, I don't think Hulk had one fight scene. I don't think he had one fight scene at all in this entire movie. If my memory serves me correctly, I don't think he had one fight scene. So I would have loved to see him be the angry kind of Hulk that we're also used to seeing, and being on, going on a rampage and things like that. But he didn't have one fight scene this entire movie. And I'm trying to think, if anything, did he have any part of that final throwdown? And I don't think he was a part of that final throwdown, because after he used the Infinity Gauntlet on himself, I don't think he was in no shape to fight. So I don't, yeah, that I don't think he did any type of fighting whatsoever in this movie. So if I did have one gripe, that's my biggest gripe. I think that'd be my biggest gripe. Everybody else had a part in this, and what's up, third? I was going on, brother. That's my biggest. That's my biggest take back from this entire movie. Like they had a throwback scene of where, of course, he was in the first Avengers movie when he was in the city and fucking fucking somebody up. I don't know where he was, but it was like the old Hulk when he was banging when he was ragdolling Loki inside of Tony Stark's place. It was almost identical to that, but he was just outside. Um, but man, other than that, that's my biggest problem with that. Now that I think about it, and I didn't know why I didn't catch that before. So overall, though, um, check it out if you haven't seen it. And I said Saturday, I highly suggested you go check it out. I'm going to get out of here, put my phone on the charger. It's about 12:30 in the morning, and I'm going to relax some. So I will be back tomorrow, more than likely, and probably try to play some Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna try to. Thanos could have fought more too, yeah, but I think the times that he fought was damn good. It was worth the wait of him actually seeing him throw down at the times that he did throw down. Um, so I'm gonna get out of here. You all get some sleep, get some rest. I'll be seeing you all tomorrow. I'll figure out what I'm gonna stream tomorrow before I gotta head into work. But I do plan on doing a live stream at some point early or kind of mid morning, going into like the early afternoon part, and go from there. So good chatting with you guys. I will see you all later. You have a good night.